pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the Mitchell County Board of Supervisors meeting on December 15. It is also online. Did we get new speakers in?
They are not working how we'd like them so far.
Okay.
I'm still working on getting
Okay,
them.
well, so we're not sure how that's going to sound yet, but we're working on it. Okay. Do you guys have any changes for the agenda?
No. So I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. How about the minutes? I didn't see any problems.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, I'm assuming no further discussion on that too. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And they are approved. And the county general cannot be with us, county attorney cannot be with us today. And so let's do a quick COVID-19 county policy. Lowell and I kept it as simple as possible. And so I'm going to so move to grant up to 80 hours of paid leave when someone needs to quarantine by the public health guidelines. And this is offered once, and after that, they would need to use their own sick pay.
And that was for,
Having to do with COVID.
but we have to use that one word,
What word is that?
essential workers, right? That's for
No,
essential.
we don't need to even talk about
I
that.
thought that was one of the stiff.
Well,
we?
for all employees.
Yeah, this is because we're putting it for all employees, so we don't need to talk about that at all.
All right, so I'll second that then.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that is approved. Okay, Sheriff, were we gonna, oh, you're here, sorry, I didn't see you, Greg.
That's okay, Lauren. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have November fees for you this morning. Check amount of $6,711.18.
How many in this morning?
3.
Four.
Long-termers, burglary, 2 burglars, and drugs.
And what?
And drugs,
Okay.
yep.
While I'm thinking of it, I want to thank you for getting back to us with substance abuse ideas
Sure.
and answering my questions.
Yeah, you bet, Laura.
Okay, so can we have a motion to, all
I'll move to approve the sheriff's report.
Second.
right, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is approved, Sheriff.
Okay, I don't have anything else for you unless you have things for me.
I do not.
I have none.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Quiet one.
Substance Abuse Coalition and Prime for Life.
County engineer?
Oh, I skipped him, didn't I? Rich,
Yep,
I'm assuming you're on the line.
I am. How are you?
Fine. I know there's gonna be some public comments, on, the road situation, and, if you don't wanna let them talk now, would you hang around till the end for public comment?
No, let's talk about it right now if we've got it.
Okay, that would be good, great. You wanna go ahead and start, Rich, and explain first?
Oh, with the programming?
Yeah, well, whatever you wanna start with,
Well, did you want to start with what public comments are there? Is it,
that's gonna have to do with, where the accident was.
yeah, do you want to discuss that right now or do you want to wait?
I don't care. Whatever order
It
you
was
want.
in Black, it was on my agenda to discuss anyway, so let's
Okay.
just start with that.
Okay, well, I know Mike Meyer had a couple of comments. Mike, you want to go ahead and speak up now then?
Yeah, I had some public contact me on that they feel that there should be a red flashing light on there since it's a blind intersection. Out-of-state people are the ones
Can you hear
running
Rich?
through.
Yep.
Okay, and then, I don't know, that's what some publics had called and told me that, so I said I'd bring it up and see if can be done. Because the stop sign isn't very visible in the dark, they say. And then, the other thing is when you're gonna pave that road next year, are you gonna widen it? Tom Lander was concerned about if you're widening it, are you gonna dig out his bushes there along the road there?
I've had several conversations with Tom Lanner about his bushes.
Okay.
And I know he's concerned about them. The goal is not to disturb his bushes. I don't know, we've told him several times that we're gonna do everything we could to not disturb those bushes. So,
Okay.
yes, the road is, when we get to paving that road, the road will be widened. That's in the plan. Whether it's next year or not, that's to be determined since we've got an estimate now for the project cost in May, depending on how we want to handle this. We have to maybe get done next year, maybe push it off a little while, but that's all something to discuss yet. As far as the flashing red stop sign,
I don't know, are those solar powered or how do they work?
they are solar powered, and just for a little bit of background, we do have, just for the board's information, we do have 2 flashing stop signs at Balsam and 420th in the county. Those intersections take, there's been no crash data. I mean, there's been no crashes at that intersection in the past 10 years. I don't think, as far as what's documented with the DOT, so there's been no accidents in the last 10 years in that intersection, yet there are flashing stop signs up there. The traffic counts are a little different up there. From the east, there's 640 vehicles a day. From the west, there's 270. On the north leg is 200 vehicles a day, and the south 390, just kind of for some data there. On Kirkwood Avenue, the last 10-year accident's been 2, not including the most recent. Both accidents that have occurred there, from the data that I have, both accidents occurred during daylight hours. Both of them included running a stop sign. One ran the stop sign from the north, and one ran the stop sign from the south. This most recent one, obviously, was from the north. The traffic counts on that road from the east are 610, from the west 630, north leg 300, and south leg 360. So just based on the numbers alone, there appears to be more traffic that crossing through that intersection than at Balsam and 420th. We don't have a specific policy on when we put lighted stop signs up at the current time, but based on the information that I have, it might not be a bad idea to put one up. I've driven that intersection, and I don't know if it's the background from when you're coming south on that road, at the background, because there's trees further south, and that intersection, if that just doesn't let that sign stand out as much as if you get a clear background, and there's a farm site further south, it just, I don't know if it's the shrubs next to it and the background that just kind of maybe hides that sign a little bit more. It just doesn't appear, it's visible, it just doesn't stand out like other signs might.
Correct, and that's exactly what the public has told me.
Blends in.
You're not looking
too
for it,
much.
you're not gonna see it, is what they said. I guess I don't travel.
However, there are stop ahead signs up there to warn traffic that there's a stop sign coming. That's there.
Yeah, I know, I seen that, but
Are there rumble strips there?
no rumble strips.
Okay.
The new road probably will have rumble strips, right?
Yes.
That would be the intent, yeah.
So that would help, but since, don't know when that's gonna be. I just had concerned citizens contacted me on this.
Yeah, and I've had calls too, Mike, so that's why I was gonna address it this week.
Yep.
I have a question for the sheriff. The driver that went through the sign, did he indicate his reason why? How did he not see the sign? Did he fail to stop on purpose? You have no information?
My understanding is he yielded, I mean, he stopped, he just didn't see the oncoming traffic, so he was distracted somehow.
Oh, he did stop
He
and
did
then
stop and
proceeded
pulled
into
out.
it.
Okay, I heard that, he blew through it.
Yeah.
I heard it blew
I
through it
heard
at 60
the
miles an
opposite.
hour, but, you know, I don't know what.
That's not true, because the
Okay.
vehicles, both, after the crash, stayed on 465th Street,
Okay.
so at 60 miles an hour, his momentum would have taken, continued
Left
south
turn, yes.
on Kirkwood, so that part's not
Yeah,
accurate.
yeah.
That's information I have, Steve.
Okay, so he
So
did stop.
he did
Just
stop
didn't
for the
see it.
stop sign.
Yeah, pulled out and caused a crash, so.
Well, it was dark out, so the pickup had lights on, I would assume.
You can lose an entire vehicle in a doorpost if you don't look twice.
Yes, you can. I will admit that, yes. you
Yeah.
can. Is there any other comments?
Also, if he did stop, that's a different situation.
Yeah.
Right,
Any other comments you want to say to Rich right now? Otherwise, we'll have Rich continue.
Well, if you're going to do a flashing sign, I would no longer do the ones with the lights on the stop sign, because those tend to, once in a while, end up in dorm rooms. I would put the flashing light, like the yellow light, above the stop sign, and that way it isn't as attractive for people to steal for dorm rooms.
Well, we have 3 of those in inventory. I don't think it would be best to just buy another sign if we've got some in inventory from the last time we purchased. I know that they can be attractive to some people wanting to put them in their dorm rooms, but attractive or not, I guess we should look at what we have in our inventory, and if we've got them, I guess we don't purchase anything else.
Right.
Yeah,
But
we
my
already have.
comment is, if you're purchasing one, I would no longer
Yeah.
Sure.
We would hope that the residents right there may stop any thievery. I think it'd probably be a good idea to put one of the flashing signs up on each side.
I would agree. You okay
Sound
with
good?
that?
We can-
Stan?
Stanley?
We can do that.
I have no problem, I mean,
It sounds like
Okay.
all 3
Yeah,
supervisors are for
we've got
that,
our
Rich.
support.
All right, we'll head that direction then.
Okay, anything else you want to discuss today?
Yeah, so looking at project information, and we were talking about a little about paving Kirkwood. Looking at estimates that came in from the consultants on construction costs and what all the projects we have slated for next year, we're going to exceed our borrowing capacity on the farm market fund by a substantial amount. So we have a couple options I've been working on trying to figure out how we can do some of these projects yet. It probably kind of comes down to a need on what we need to do. We have, several projects slated, and right now our 3-year borrow ahead capacity is 4.6 million. The estimate for the reconstruction of Kirkwood came at 5.1 million, sorry. A little bit higher than what we anticipated it to come in at, but it is the cost estimated for the project. That the options we have, I guess, right now, plans are done for all the projects we have going on next year. Then we got to put final plans in by next week. So the plan work is all done. It's now a matter of timing on how we can shuffle our funding and financing around. We could let Kirkwood project for next year and push off Hickory and Foothill until we have the funding to do those. By the April letting for when we're planning on doing Kirkwood, we would have close to the 5.1 million for our 3-year borrow ahead in our farm to market account. So we could do that one project. It's a big project. We could put off Kirkwood for a little while and continue to do Foothill and Hickory. That would borrow against our farm to market account. Would put us borrowed ahead at about 1.2 million. We could shuffle some things around, and maybe by 2023, we'll ball some avenue out of our swap funding, and maybe put an application in for Underwood to use 1.5 million swap. We still have to supplement with farm to market money, which could be pretty close to having enough into that in 2023 if we don't spend any more farm to market money between this construction season and that construction season. I mean, it slows things down a little bit unless we can find some other funding somewhere. In the meantime, we've had projects on March Avenue, the truck route here around Old Stage here to kind of do something with that roly-poly road. We've got, like I said, we have Balsam that was programmed for 2023. We'd have to try to find another method there. Plus any other roads that we have or in the future, we're kind of slowing down on paving just because farm to market balances and swap funding is depleting. Local money is almost essentially non-existent for any paving and bridge work just because of the property tax coming in. So just giving you an update on what we're looking at for projects, and since we're in budget time and construction, budget and program time, I just thought I'd give you a heads up on where we're at. I guess, is there any input from the board as to which project they would like to see done first?
Well, I know Foothill has more traffic.
Correct?
I would like to see all of them done, and why you can do that is I contacted Jeff Heil, our financial advisor, and Jeff explained that Mitchell County, is in wonderful shape financially, and that we have right now the availability to utilize at least $5 million of TIF monies. And that $5 million, there could be $3 million, I would say $3 million could be going to your road projects, another $1.5 million to housing, and $500,000 to county conservation to purchase the land up there at the Stacyville area to help on that. That wouldn't fully purchase it, but that would get them in very good shape. What Jeff Heil also explained, he said within 3 to 4 years, you would have possibly an additional $15 million of TIF money. And then you still have another $17 million for the future. So you're basically talking $37 million, of which you want to be able to, in the next 18 years, be able to spend it all here in Mitchell County for the benefit of the people of Mitchell County. You don't want to be giving it away. You want to utilize it. And so I would suggest the new board very seriously consider utilizing the $5 million as our financial advisor has advised.
The new board asked
Just so,
go ahead.
just so the board knows that the projects are going ahead right now. We can always, within a month before the letting, we can always pull projects from the letting. So, I mean, we still have some time to evaluate, whether we want to do certain projects. The nice thing is the plans are done. So whether we shelve them or not, it's less work in the future, have to go do something else. So there's that caveat to everything, is that the hard work's been done.
Sure. Well, the new board of supervisors will have some big decisions then coming up. Do you have anything else you want to add to that, Rich?
Yes, there is a letting today through the DOT for our Underwood and 485th Street Bridge up in the northeast corner of the county that's been kind of on the slate for a while now. We expect the numbers to be a snitch higher than what we anticipated based on the design of the high back walls for that bridge and it being kind of curved. So we'll see what those numbers are like, and then we'll just have to evaluate after that. But we'll have, I would think that by noon we'll be able to see what our letting results are.
Okay, thanks for the update on that.
I will be unavailable next week for the meeting, but if I don't see anybody before then, have a Merry Christmas.
You too, Rich.
Merry Christmas. Go this way. Okay, here's it.
Well,
Okay.
does the public have any comment about utilizing TIF on these projects?
Well, my opinions of TIF is if you don't use it, somebody else is going to. You want to pass it on to the state, they'll be happy to use it somewhere else. You have all kinds of projects laid out here
don't labor the fact of whether you can afford them or not. When you know there are funding there, you need to consider using that funding.
Okay, well, like I said, there'll be some big decisions for the future supervisors. Let's move on to,
I'd like to add to that just a little bit.
oh, yes, go ahead.
So, I agree with that, and the urban renewal districts were created for a purpose, and that was to capture that money in order to utilize the money for the public good. The reason we created the urban renewal districts was for the public good and to utilize that money. If we just sit on that money and not use it, it's actually not being used for what it was intended to be used for. So, I mean,
It
we
comes
need to spend
back
it wisely, but we also need to utilize it.
But it does come back to us if we don't.
Say again?
It does come back to us if we
Does Rich need to disconnect?
No, Mark Walk was on the line, his was unmuted, so he's
Oh,
muted
okay.
now.
Okay, what was
That
that, Steve?
isn't quite correct. Only part of it would come back to us, Steve, and a very small part, if you don't utilize it.
Okay,
You
well,
are wrong on that.
no,
I
so
could be, but I could be
we're
right.
gonna move
No, you are
on
not
from
right.
that.
You are not right. I'll make
We're
that
moving
public.
on. Substance Abuse Coalition and Prime for Life, they have requested some money from us. The Mitchell County Substance Abuse Coalition is asking for the continuation of funding for the Prime for Life program that we have provided each year for 9th grade students in Osage and Riceville schools. St. Ansgar opted out of the program. The purpose of the program is to teach students the risk associated with the early use of alcohol and drugs to the brain and body while they both are developing. The students are given a pre-test to determine their risk perception of using alcohol and drugs. A post-test is then given following the completion of the program, and the following results have been shown that with the pre-test, about 50 to 60% risk perception, while the post-test shows that they understand 90% and above. We found that youth as young as 10 have tried alcohol in their home. Vaping is now a very big problem in the school, and we are attacking that also. Both Osage and Riceville schools have indicated their desire to continue the program. We are anticipating the need for an increase of to $1,800 from $1,600 due to the increase in mileage and double the class time. Osage classes are being divided into 2 classes, and the instructor moved farther away, so we have more mileage to pay for that. FEMC will match our $1,800 if we do contribute that. In the past, we've received grants from the Kiwanis, Rotary Lions. These funds came from the sock sale, and we know they didn't have that this year due to COVID, so we didn't get those funds. I want to add, when they began Prime for Life a number of years ago, binge drinking of our youth was 1.5 times above the state average, and now it is far below that. Every 2 years, the Iowa Youth Survey is done. And so Lowell, if they okay this, the check is to be made out to the Mitchell County Public Health for endorsement and given to Carolyn Johnson, the treasurer of the Substance Abuse Coalition. So the gist of what I said came from knowledge and research in a letter from Betty McCarthy on behalf of the coalition. So what do you guys think about upping that to $1,800 from $1,600 for the Coalition for Prime for Life?
So moved.
So moved or seconded?
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is approved. Okay, we're going to discuss refinancing the courthouse bond. Unfortunately, I had to find out about this on Facebook, so I assume, I don't know if you're gonna talk about that, Stan, or?
I had a conversation this last week, again with our financial advisor, Jeff Heil, and Jeff explained that we could refinance the courthouse bonds with a saving of $411,000. And he recommended that we should go ahead and set this for public hearing. This board could set the public hearing, we would not be the ones to act on it. But that we should go ahead and get this done as fast as possible.
Okay, I sent an email to Jeff Heil. I was not happy with him. I asked him a year ago that if he was going to converse with us about these types of things, that he send it to all 3 supervisors. This is a board of supervisors, not supervisor. So I was not happy about that. I'm uncomfortable with having the new board have to already make a decision at the very first meeting. I do think it's a no-brainer. I am for it. Why wouldn't we want to save the county money? I'm just a little concerned about having that meeting their very first meeting for a public meeting.
Well, Lowell, when would, if we set that for public hearing, when would would that be a 4 and 20 or 10 and 20?
Probably 10 and 20.
And when would be the first,
Well, we'd have to get proceedings from bond counsel. And then I don't know what the holiday schedule is for press news. It's probably quicker than that. So I don't know if you're
May I
thinking
have
the
a
second
comment, please?
week of January or.
Comments, Steve?
Before we get any further into this, I think that we should check with a second opinion through the Dodd-Frank rules. Doesn't cost us anything to go through another opinion, have another counsel come in, give us information. Doesn't cost us anything. Out of the bonds cost.
what would be the purpose of this, Steve?
That would be to give us a second opinion as to what we're doing. Now, this good old boys club that we've got here, where you can call up Jeff Heil and come up with whatever you want, whenever, whatever, it's got to stop.
This
My
isn't-
opinion is we need, if we do go into the future, to have a different bondsman.
This is not a good old boys thing, and Jeff Heil has
I guess
represented
I
60-some
forgot, I
counties.
didn't see an email from him or you. Barb said she didn't get one. I think we need a change, but I have also done a little research. I discussed with Shannon, our treasurer. I discussed with Lowell and Rachel, our auditors. There may be, our future auditor, there may possibly be a way in which we can pay this without borrowing any money at all.
Pay what?
The $6 million. Now, if we can do that and save on interest, wouldn't that be more intelligent, period?
Now, where would that $6 million come from?
That is going to be up between the treasurer and the auditor. This has been left up to them, unless you're good at that too.
Okay, guys, let's keep it calm. Obviously,
Steve,
Yes.
we're using tax
Yeah.
increment finance money. Anything else would be coming from the general fund, which you don't want to use when you can use tax increment finance money.
If they perceive that it is okay, it's okay with me.
obviously, there's gonna be more to discuss with the new supervisors. And, so, that looks like something that could go ahead and be discussed that very first meeting. If you wanna put it on the agenda for, in January.
But I think our very first meeting, we better resolve our committees and stuff. We'll have plenty to do, but there's no rush into this. This isn't anything that we have to race into.
Steve, your organization meeting is on Monday, January 4th. Your normal business meeting is on Tuesday, January 5th.
We're gonna do that on, what, we're gonna try and do that on Monday? Monday.
You normally have the organizational meeting on Monday, and you normally have your normal business meeting on Tuesday.
Not always.
Well, we try and
Normally,
do
I
it,
said.
try and do it in one meeting so we don't have to come in twice.
2 days in a row. Yeah, you always have to have your organizational meeting the first available date after the 1st of January. Since the 1st is on Friday, that means it's Monday.
Okay, obviously they'll have discussion then, and I won't be part of it, and Stan won't be part of it, so we'll leave that up to you guys. No further discussion, let's move on. Meetings attended. I had a 2 1/4 hour meeting with County Social Services. They appreciated some small grants from us, which, by the way, St. Ansgar School received one, I believe. They're working on a wish list for legislators for those with disabilities. The finance manager position, we approved a raise to get her in the average range with others in her position. We will post longer in-house the children's coordinator position need. CARES Act funded the December training of the crisis intervention. Case management program due to declining numbers, most recipients residing outside the training, outside the upcoming county social service region. Counties leaving the region and being only region to provide the service, the CSS leadership is recommending closing the case management program by April 30th. Now, we voted actually to keep that for now. Someone that actually had a child with special needs spoke up and talked about how this would be a very much a hardship of us closing this program. And we talked about it, doing it to save money, but we did vote to keep it for now, and we'll reevaluate down the road. Judicial referee agreement, Cerro Gordo's Chris Watts asked that $397,000 needs to go back to the counties leaving, and he wanted to reduce to half the total amount, $40,000 reduced to $20,000 since Cerro Gordo is leaving at the end of June. And that was approved. We approved a budget and 28E amendments. We received over $4 million from the CARES Act funding, and we've spent only $1 million of it, so obviously that needs to be worked on. We will continue the current levy at 30%, at 30, which we lowered last year, saving Mitchell County taxpayers almost $50,000, $7,000 annually. Boy, I can't talk now. $57,000. Let's see. We're not ready to sign yet an agreement with Pillar of Cedar Valley and Elevate. Wright County gave a letter of intent that we have received and accepted. Carl, as our vice chair from Wright County, he only has 6 months left, and so he's happy to stay 6 months as a vice chair, but he was also willing if we wanted to have somebody that would be continuing on for a year, and we chose to make a change when the time comes, and we're fine with him being our vice chair. When we do replace, we want to make sure that each quadrant is representative. The HR committee, of which I was part of, will take care of this. We discussed having a legislative committee, separate committee, especially to work on contiguous region requirements and other legislative items. Eric, our consumer rep, volunteered, and Mark Campbell of Webster County and Roy Schwickerlap of Floyd County will all be on this. The Northeast Iowa Workforce Local Board met, and so I mainly just listened in on this. I didn't have to actually participate. And they are still working on their procurement of service providers. Current contracts are up December 31st. If we don't have new organizations on board, they will ask for an extension from state. Hawkeye Community College requested they receive outstanding ticket to work funds. The board support, we designated to our local area by Iowa Workforce Development of 20 counties. They set up committees for one-stop RFP reviewers. They took some time to talk in private to tell how they think things are going with Heather, and all were positive remarks. They are looking at quarterly meetings down the road instead of monthly, and the committees but might have to meet more temporarily often. Okay, I'm done.
I had no meetings.
I had 3. County Conservation, they've done their tree bid, and they basically got $23,000 for trees that they were expecting to get 16, so they were very happy on that. They had their machinery sale, and again, they received more money than what they thought they would on the machinery sale. Second Judicial, they've done some updates on policy board, on the policy board, and financial, again, we had a discussion on that. And then in NICOG, we had to approve of purchasing 6 buses that requires separate approval from just the normal claims and that. And we still have no resolve on an accident that happened in Clear Lake. And so that was our 3 meetings, or my 3 meetings.
Okay. Our clerk of court report for November. You guys had a chance to look at it?
Yes, so noted.
Okay, yeah, we'll so note that. Manure management plans.
There's 3 of them. There's Fairview from address is 1050 Windfall Avenue, Charles City. Lake Fork LLC, 4170 Echo Avenue, St. Hansker, and Riceville, 3321 Addison Avenue, Elma.
Thank you, Lowell. Are there any public comments today? Yes.
St. Ansgar did find a board member for the Upper Cedar River, Mr. Paul or John will sit on that now. And I'm hoping that the new board acts as a team. Pride, personal pride and power are not good management tools, so hopefully we'll get more cooperation out of the new board.
And that was for the upper one, what do they call that?
Upper Cedar River.
Paul
Good.
Verjon.
Paul Virgin.
Okay, we'll let you update that list then. Thank you. Anything else? Yes.
I just missed the COVID policy. What was the hours that you guys said?
80 up, 80
Okay.
out. All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.